where we're at, TNT.
In the land of footy madness where the crowds collide, Taz, Todd and Egi were ready for the ride. Taz rocks the blues with Crips in his heart. Viewers' questions coming now, that's just the start. Goals and speckies in the heat of the game. AFL glory, yeah, it's all the same. TNT Footy, we're living the dream. With Taz, Todd and Egi, we're a winning team.
G'day everyone, welcome to another episode of TNT Footy. I'm Taz, and beside me I've got the only co-host tonight, Egi.
Beautiful, thank you. Yes, I am.
How you going, buddy?
I'm good, yourself? So where's Todd tonight? Feeling a bit under the weather, is he?
Yeah, he's got a headache from that eye surgery he was talking about the other week. So yeah. I think he's just been looking up too much porn, but you know, what can you say?
What can you say? Just to kick off welcome George, welcome Hugh Tanner.
G'day, boys.
G'day.
Welcome to the show.
Also, before we get started, Taz, you had a bit of an event on the weekend. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I just put you on the spot. You didn't know it was coming, but I thought I'd let you talk about it.
You jerk. I played in a pool tournament on the weekend. So yeah, it was good. It was a good day, long day, but really enjoyed myself.
Good. So
I was fortunate enough to make the final. Lost the final 7-5. So, but yeah, overall I was stoked with the way I played. And hopefully I can continue it going. This is going to sound really silly, but I can't lift my shoulder above a certain height because I'm so sore today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've got bad shoulders anyway. It runs in the family.
Have you tried taping it or anything, or?
Oh, it's not that. I don't know. It's just the rotator cuff.
Yeah.
I've got small tears in both sides. I already know that. But yeah, it's just funny because people say, "Oh, what's wrong with your shoulder?" And you say, "I heard it playing pool."
Welcome, Kelzo. Yes, this episode will be electric even without Todd. Brody's like the dynamic duo. I reckon it's the dynamic deck duo.
Yeah.
Flashback from the old times. Carlton Flaggers, welcome. Hugh Tanner, never too much. Beautiful.
Absolutely. But yeah, thanks for putting me on the spot there, Egi.
That's right.
Tonight's show.
Oh, here we go. You go. I was about to do the same thing.
Tonight's show, we've got a cracking show tonight, as we always do. Or some would even say electric. We've got all the action from round 12. We're going to look into what's coming up in round 13. We've got Woo Girls Wowee. We've got a couple of viewers' questions, and we've actually got a special. Wow. We have a special guest tonight who I'm really excited to have a chat to.
Beautiful. I like how you got it wrong 3 times. So I can't wait to clip that later.
Thanks, mate. I love it.
But if you haven't yet, make sure you follow our socials. They're down in the links below of our Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and our shop. And Patreon's in there too. If you'd like to support the channel, yeah, give us a bit of a plug. Also, make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you want to help us get to our goal of 500 subscribers, not 5,000, and share this to all your friends. Beautiful.
We'd love that. Absolutely. We can't do it without your support, so we'd really appreciate it. Brody's got here getting old. I agree with that. Artie, where's his bloody hat, Will? I think Artie's not talking to me.
That's right. He might not be talking to me after we go for the review too. So.
Oh man, my rotator cuff in my left shoulder is cooked. And George, where's Todd? He's been watching too much porn, George. So he's got a headache and his eyes are sore. No, it's from his surgery the other week. He's just having a bit of a reaction. So hopefully he heals and gets better soon. I don't even think he's able to watch the show, unfortunately.
Yep.
All right, should we get straight into it, mate?
We should get straight into it.
Lovely. Brisbane and Essendon. I say this every week, all the way back on Thursday night, but we love Thursday night footy, so I hope they never take it away.
Me too. But it was a pretty good game. Essendon come out with the guns blazing at the start, and so yeah, they look pretty good against Brisbane. But then Brisbane, just as they usually do, just get it done.
They do. Yeah, it seems like they're just doing enough at the moment. I started watching this game and it was, I thought Brisbane were just going to thump them because
Yeah.
that first quarter, they just come out and they dominated. Essendon started to claw their way back in the second quarter, and then I fell asleep at halftime.
Oh, no.
So can't really say too much about the second half except what I've seen on KO mini match. But it was good to see Kyle Lohman come back on the ground after that scare early in the game as well.
Yes.
So did you get a chance to watch this game?
Yeah, I watched most of the game. Yeah, it was pretty good. Hugh McLaughlin was outstanding. I think he got 40-something disposals. Who's Caddy? Caddy was really good. He's looking like a great tall forward up front there. So even in
It's exciting.
is it his first year or his second year? I think it's his first, isn't it?
I think it's his second.
Oh, second. Okay, yeah, but yeah, he looked like he's going to be quite the forward. Yeah.
I'm just having a look at chat. Sorry. Kelzo, Taz found it as hard to say special as GWS did to beat the Tigers. 100%. George, oh boy, stiff. I don't know if he's talking about.
Todd?
I'm not going to say it. Yep. Hugh Tanner has got here, need blue light glasses for the marathons. Also fell asleep at halftime. And it wasn't, I didn't fall asleep because it was a bad game. It was actually a good game.
Yeah, it was a really good game. Yeah, because like Brisbane got that jump at the start, but then Essendon were able to claw their way back in. I think they even got in front at one stage, but yeah, then Brisbane just went away with it in the last.
They did. They did. Hugh McCluggage is having such an underrated season, I feel.
He's like a smoky for the Brownlow, I reckon.
Yeah, I think he's outperforming Neil.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, he's just tearing up the track. The only thing that will go against him is the fact that he does play with Neil, Ashcroft, Dunkley, these other players that might steal votes from him throughout the year.
Yep. So looking like maybe Merritt is still on top, or actually probably Bailey Smith's probably out on top, really.
I'd agree with that.
Yep. Because I reckon Josh Dacos and Steele Sidebottom are stealing a lot of votes from Nick.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I don't think it does make it very challenging when you've got a couple of players really performing in the same team.
Yeah.
For them to sort of run away with it, which we've seen in years go by.
Yes, we have.
So, but yeah, good win to Brisbane. Essendon, better signs.
Yeah, they do. Better signs.
All right, moving on to the Friday night game, which apparently the umpires were paid, according to Mr. Artie in chat there. If you can't see that comment.
Friday it was for dollars for surely one side umpiring at its finest. Oh, we should go and have a look at that. Look at the free count, the free kick count. It's usually
20-19.
Oh, was it? Oh, that's pretty fair.
Yeah, 20 Hawthorn's way actually.
Yep.
From what I see here, this game again. I watched the first half and fell asleep.
I watched the whole thing because it was me versus the wife pretty much. But yeah, it was good to see. Like I think it was pretty close up until halftime. Even Guinea got around three goals I think in the first half. He was outstanding as well at the start.
He was fantastic.
But yeah, Elliott come in. I think he was kicking a goal a quarter at the one stage, and then he ended up with a few in the last. So it cemented us for the win.
Mate, Elliott's kicked 5 goals or more 4 times this year.
Yeah.
That's just insane. He's in such good form.
I think the most goals he's ever kicked in a season is 39, and he's already on 33 with halfway through the season.
And he's leading the Coleman with Jesse Hogan.
Oh, no, I think Jess is out in front now. I think Jess kicked 5 last night, and he's out in front by 5.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I must have missed that part.
Yeah.
Do your research, Taz. Jeez. But still, he'd be second.
Yeah, he'll be second. I think he's in front because Jesse Hogan didn't kick in on the weekend. I think he was tied with Jezza on 33, but I can't remember if that was counted during the game or was before the game. But then I know Jezza went and kicked it 5 last night. So
I got a great way to fix this.
Google it.
Jeremy Cameron, 38. Jamie Elliott, 33. Ben King, 32. Jesse Hogan, 30. Jack Higgins, 29. So there's 2 small forwards in the top 5.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
But I think Elliott's getting it because it's a great mark, and because like Myercheck, McStay's out, but Will Hoskin Elliott's been up there, and Membry and that they're drawing away those bigger defenders.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Absolutely. Hawks were good first half and then rather disappointing after that, I
Yeah,
thought.
like the stats showing up about with Will Day out that they aren't looking as good. But
Yeah.
I think there's well, I think last year people didn't take them seriously and didn't really look at them. Whereas this year, like they made their finals and well, sorry, last year they made their finals. So this year people are really looking into them and finding out how to beat them.
Yeah, and look, they've actually had a pretty good run the first half of the year. When you look at who they've played, I think we
Yep.
mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. So the real test for them is now the second half of the season. I think the bye's coming at a good time for them to see what they can do in the second half of the year because they've definitely got the talent, they've definitely got the game style, they've definitely got the skill set. They might just be running out of legs.
That too. Well, I think they have the one game style, whereas I noticed like a Brisbane and a Collingwood and even Richmond that they know how to adapt. Like if it's not going their way, they know how to change it up and do a different style that'll suit them playing the other team. Whereas I think Hawthorn's only their one way, and when it's not working, that sort of goes to shit really.
Yeah. Do you know who's got a really stark difference in game styles? Is St Kilda. And
Yeah,
we've
they
seen
do at the moment. Yeah,
they can play really quick and attacking footy, and they can pull it right up and play really defensive and shut the opposition down.
yep.
Right. Just going to catch up on chat here. So Hughes got here was def not a free kick Hawthorn night for once. Hardy's got it's the ones that were not given but were given to the Pies. Hughes got, oh no, I was awake for this one, was great. Because his Pies as well.
Oh, that's good.
Jamie's on a tear. Kelzo, if any refs were paid, it was the ones from Richmond. You sound like you're a bit grumpy about that game, Kelzo. George, got to say, Elliot is a champion, 100%. He's got, oh, being a blue, that hurts to say. And then Hugh saying Jezza beating up on the Eagles. Good shout. Good shit. Love to see it. I
Yep.
think, yeah. All right. But yeah, not much else more to say about that game, I don't feel. Do you have anything coming from Pie side?
Nah, looking good. Sorry to see Lucky Schultz go out. Hopefully, I'm not sure how bad the injury is, but it's a hamstring, but we'll know in the coming days.
Yeah, because that was his first game back too.
Yeah, so yeah, he had a hamstring earlier on in the season. Then he come back, got a concussion, and now he's back out again with another hamstring. So
Jeez. And it sucks because he was just starting to actually hit a bit of form with
yeah, he is.
earlier in the season. So
Yep.
yeah, fingers crossed he's okay, and Lipinski with his concussion as well.
Oh yes, that too. Yes.
Beautiful. All right. Next game we have the Suns and Fremantle.
Yeah,
in
the
what,
upset of the round,
five?
I reckon. Fremantle getting over the Suns.
Yeah, this was crazy. Very wet conditions. It was sort of damp to start with, but then the rain just bucketed down
Yep.
basically from the second quarter on. Um, and I don't think Gold Coast could just get their ball movement going as well as what they usually can in the dry.
Yep. I
Did
didn't get to see much of it. I was working, but yeah, I did listen to bits and pieces, but I mainly listened to the Giants Richmond game.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. We'll get to that one
Soon.
shortly. But yeah, it was good. Patrick Voss was, as Todd would say, electric in the first couple of quarters. Kicked two early goals, then kicked another one in the third later in the game.
Yep.
Flanders, I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if he's not playing the same role as he was last year, but he's not getting the ball anywhere near as
Well,
enough.
I think Anderson's getting more of the ball than anyone else at the moment.
Anderson's dominating.
Yep.
He's another smoky for the Brownlow. He might just have some other players stealing votes from him, like Real and Tuke Miller when they're up and running.
Yep.
But yeah, just not 100% sure there. But Anderson still ended up with 39 touches
Yep.
in the
And
game.
and their defense, like I think Tracy was he didn't kick any goals, and there was someone else that was up for that didn't kick any goals as well. I can't remember their names. I have to go back and have a look.
Yeah,
But
Tracy, 15 touches, no goals. Murphy Reed didn't kick a goal. He's been kicking quite a few goals this year as well. One good news story though was early in the fourth quarter, Mr. Nathan Fife came onto the ground as the
oh
sub.
yes.
So finished with 7 touches, looked to be moving quite well, to be honest. So 7 touches in less than a full quarter of footy.
Yep.
I think is really positive, really promising for him. So hopefully he can get a bit more game time next week and really build his way back into playing a full game at the top level.
Yes. Oh, Jai Amos. I know he did get one goal. Sorry, my apologies. He got one goal.
Ah, yes.
I only know Tracy and Amos because I had them both for two goals in the multi. So.
Oh, that's funny. That is
But
funny.
I also had Ben King for 3, but I think he only got 2. But yeah.
Yeah, right. I did see later in the game Andrew Brayshaw get a knee to the head,
Ooh.
and I thought he should have actually gone off and been assessed. The doctor came out to him, but he waved him off. It was in the dying minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure whether the AFL has looked at it or are going to look at it. I haven't looked at the news today, but yeah, I thought that was a little bit, and it was a complete accident because it was wet. He just slipped over. Player come from the other way, slipped over, knee to the head. Is what it is. Football things happen, but AFL's pretty tight on that at the moment.
Yes, it is.
All right, we'll go to the next game. An absolute cracker of a game.
Oh, it was a great game. Yeah, GWS Richmond. Richmond were winning the first 3 quarters. They looked like they pretty much looked electric. If only they could kick more goals in behind, it would have been their game to have.
Well, yeah. So what was it? 27 scoring shots to 20. So that says a lot about it.
But that's in the end. I think they almost had 27 in the third quarter, or was it 26 by the end of the third quarter? And I think GWS, GWS were quite a bit behind, almost 30 points behind.
Jeez, I'm just having a look at the free kick count. So it was 15 free kicks to 4 Tigers' way.
Yep.
The whole match. That's not many paid free kicks for GWS.
Yeah, Richmond only scored 1 behind in the last quarter, whereas GWS scored 5 goals 2 in the last quarter.
Yeah, that's unreal. Hugh Kelso's he is pissed because 15 frees to 4. I did see Ward's injury. That was a very, very disappointing finish.
Yeah,
the game.
Still no news out to how bad it is and how long it is. Like everyone is saying, it will be career ending. But yeah, we'll wait and see. Hopefully, it's like a Sam Darcy thing, and it's only a few weeks. So
it looked like an ACL, just a twisting motion. Sort of no pressure on being tackled or pushed sideways or anything. The action definitely did look like it was an ACL, but fingers crossed it's not, because he's been such a veteran and a super player for such a long time since he come across from the Dogs.
Yep.
Good signs. Callum Brown kicked 3 goals from 10 touches. Tim Taranto, he's actually having a pretty good year this year.
Yeah, he is.
For the Tigers.
Well, actually, he does have a pretty good year every year. I think last year was a bit more worse because they got the spoon, but they're getting a few games on the board now, so I don't think they'll get the spoon this year. So yeah, I think he's getting a bit more.
I agree with that. He actually is improving his disposal efficiency, which I think is crucial for him, because he was horrible.
Yeah.
Him and Hopper's still not great, but he gets the real in and under. But it was good to see Dion Prestia back.
Yeah, and he was good too. He was a good in for them. Carlton Flag has also confirmed ACL, unfortunately.
Oof, brutal. So you'd imagine that, being his age, he will look at hanging up the boots.
Yeah, well, I think he was already going year for year as it is.
Yeah, he was, because he actually lives in Melbourne and flies back to play.
Oh, does he?
Does his own training down here and everything. Yep.
Well, I do know he has a house in Bondi, and I think it was up for sale. Actually, I don't even know how old that news story was now. I have to go back and have a look at it. We could have sold it last year. We did have a house in Bondi.
And Sam Banks for Richmond, just going from strength to strength. He had 25 touches at 92%.
Oh, wow.
That is unreal.
That is unreal.
He's having a fantastic year as a young Tiger Cub, as they're calling him.
Yep.
So what are we at? 20 past. Got 3 games to go, and then we've got our special guest. So we'll keep moving through. I think this is the biggest disappointment of a game.
It is, and I think Swans just keep disappointing, and especially when it was such a big game for them as well. A home game with 100 years of Swans or something, or was it all like the old
20th anniversary or
20th
something?
Anniversary, yeah. They had all the older players come back. Then they get pumped by almost 100 points.
It's horrible. horrible. And I saw that Dean Cox actually, or the leadership group, sorry, including Dean Cox, so they left the ground at midnight in Sydney,
Oh,
went home, and they were at the beach in the very early hours of the next morning. What did they play Saturday? So Sunday morning to do a recovery session, but it was actually more of like push-ups and sit-ups. It was more of a punishment session from what I read,
yeah,
which I think is fair
yeah, yeah.
because it's very disappointing. Yes, they've got a lot of injuries, but they should not be as poor as what they are.
Well, this game was for me what it was for you on Thursday and Friday, and I had a few beers in the first quarter first quarter, yeah, and I think halfway through the second quarter I'd fallen asleep. But then I was awake at early hours of the morning, rewatching it.
Oh, but look, hang on, sorry, Kelso's just got here. It was a load of crap. The reffing, I think he means umpiring. He's talking about
Yeah.
soccer refs, but just giving you a hard time, Kelso. Calls one way, but not the other. It sounds like you and Artie should catch up for a whinge about the games, mate.
It should be GWS versus Hawthorn. That'd be a good one.
Brody Grundy had a great game for the Swans, but there wasn't really too many more positives from their
No,
side, to be
but
honest, mate.
I think is it the three four, or the four tall forwards of Adelaide seem to be working, where it's they all got a piece of it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thilthorpe continues his good run.
Yeah,
Fogarty and Taylor Walker.
yeah,
So I think they've got a good setup there, the way they're doing. Then you got Rochelle and Rankin at their feet.
and
Ben
Keys as
Keys.
well.
Yeah. He's hit a bit of form, a bit of a purple patch the last
Yeah.
couple of weeks.
Did you see that Rochelle sort of soccer kick off to Keys, and Keys was going run through just past the 50 and kicked it?
How good was that?
Oh, it was pretty entertaining, that's for sure.
And that's I saw a video where it was like, and it wasn't even offside comparing it to soccer.
Yeah,
And they had like the line there and
yeah,
everything
yeah,
when they played. I thought it was good. It was entertaining.
yeah.
So yeah, not much more to really say about this game. Adelaide have cemented themselves in the top four. They're starting to really look like a threat, to be
Yeah,
honest,
they do actually.
because they're winning not just at home but away from home.
But it's
Last
hard.
year.
It's hard to say that. Like we go into the next game, like we think that we thought that about Melbourne, we thought that about GWS, and they sort of and Gold Coast as well, and then they just sort of show us a little bit of like a couple of losses, and like you question their where they're standing. Even Hawthorn as well.
This next one definitely surprised me. Melbourne losing to St Kilda. To be fair, they kicked themselves out of it big
Yeah,
time.
that's true.
But they kicked 7 goals, 21.
But apparently, Melbourne they've got that Alice Springs game, but I think they've lost the last four.
Have they really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I heard on SEN today. I think it was the four or maybe even more. But yeah,
Jeez. Maybe they're going to look at changing it up. Maybe
Yeah.
St Kilda will go up there because they actually played quite well.
yeah, they did. They played really well.
And look, Melbourne didn't actually play bad. They just could not convert on
No,
the scoreboard.
but then like we were talking yesterday, like a lot of them weren't like out on the boundary line as well. Like Max Gorn took one 30 meters out just on the slight angle and missed it.
Yep. Melksham was the same. There was plenty of players who had a heap of opportunities. One of the young kids, Xavier Lindsay, kicked 3 behinds. So convert a couple of those to goals, and the story is completely different.
Yeah, well, really,
Melbourne could have actually had a really comfortable win.
they were shooting at 25%. Yeah,
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's not acceptable. And as Brozza says, bad kicking is bad football.
yeah,
But look, Saints, to their credit, put the foot down, made sure that there was one point where Melbourne got within like 6 or 7 points, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
And I thought, oh, here we go. Saints are going to drop the ball as they have this season. And then they just kicked away. They kicked a couple of goals and steadied the ship. It was really good to see.
How good's Wangani Miller? I think he only went off with concussion for a little bit, then he got cleared, and was able to continue to play.
So good. He's becoming one of my favorite players to watch. He's absolutely fantastic on the field. I'm just having a look here. It doesn't look like there was any injuries, which is really good.
Yep.
Actually, no. Philippou got injured, but it's not listed on this report. So Philippou did get injured in the first quarter, and ex-Carlton boy Jack Carroll replaced him.
Yep.
Don't know how Jack Carroll went. What did he finish with? 11 touches, so that's pretty poor. But depending on where he was playing. I really thought Melbourne, after the last few weeks, was going to be up and about.
Yeah, so did I.
So it's, yeah, really brought them back to earth. And I think it puts them and St Kilda on the same points, I think, on the ladder. No. Yeah, it does. Yeah, both 5 wins, 7 losses, sitting at 11th and 12th.
Yep. Just behind Essendon and Western Bulldogs.
Yeah.
And in front of Carlton. Carlton had the bye, so they should peg them back here all soon, hopefully.
So did the Dogs, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Dogs are sitting in 9th spot with a percentage of 126.
Yeah, so like if they just get a game on Hawthorn, GWS or Fremantle, they're just going to rocket them up to almost the top 4.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. All right, and then the last game of the round, which actually turned out to be not a bad game, and there was a good highlight from one of our favourites, Harley Reid.
Yes, there was. Yes.
Did you see it?
I think I saw it live, but I think because we're on the podcast as well, we got to go on the Flaggers podcast last night, so that was good.
We did, our first guest appearance.
Yes, it was. And so make sure you check them out. We'll post links about that later on. But yeah, I did see bits and pieces of it, but I haven't been able to rewatch it yet, so I'll get back and rewatch it sometime.
Absolutely. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Because it was a good game.
Yeah, it was great. It was so close in the first half, but yeah, Bailey Smith has been electric. Really, he's been great. And Jesse Cameron kicked 1 early, but then he kicked 4 in the last quarter. Really cemented them on top. So he's really standing up with Patrick Dangerfield out. That's for sure.
Absolutely. And they've got Danger to come back in, and it's just going to bolster them even more. So they're starting to show some good form, as Geelong always bloody do.
They gave Shannon Neal a bit of a stint in the ruck in the first half as well, and it wasn't too bad.
I saw some whinging about that because someone had him for goals or something.
Yes, goals. Yeah, 3 goals or something, and played in the ruck.
Artie's got here, Melbourne keeps selling the games to play in Darwin and lose every bloody time. Stop trying to please our nation, please.
No, I don't think they're trying to please them. I think they're just, trying to get a bit extra money in the bank.
Absolutely, because their supporters don't go to their games, so they've got to try and make money somehow. Yeah. George, very disappointing for the old flag bearers. Hugh Tanner, Stevie J said they'd be kicking themselves, but they'd probably miss. George talking about Sydney. And then Nass is great to watch, Hugh Tanner. So, and again, good signs for Eagles fans.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, hopefully get up and about. And I saw Harley Reid made it all. They were talking. They interviewed him and said he's happy to stay in WA. Well, I was like, well, why hasn't he signed the contract yet?
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. Maybe I still think he goes.
Yeah, I think so too.
I still think he goes. And look at Houston. He was happy to stay at Port last year and then decided to leave.
Yep.
So players, I think now are so trained on what to say that they say what the people want to hear instead of what they're feeling. In saying that, actually, before we move on to our guest, unless you had anything more to say about this game.
No, that's all right.
So there was a player who came out and said, I can't remember who said it now, but he was basically saying that Sydney were a rabble. And
it was an Adelaide player, Millera.
Wayne
Millera.
That's right. Wanganeen Millera. That's right. Yeah, so he came out and said that they were a rabble. He's actually apologised, which I don't agree with, because the media and all of us want the players to be open and honest and start to give us a little bit of a behind the scenes look as to what their personalities are. But then when they do come out and say something, they're straight on their backs having a dig at them about, oh, you shouldn't have said that, it's disrespectful, blah, blah, blah. I don't think what he said was a bad thing.
Yeah. I think Jordan Dawson came to his defence today on SEN saying that it was just more the way how Adelaide were playing towards them. But I don't even know what rabble means.
A mess, basically.
Oh, yeah.
A mess. Like, and do you know what? If that was the case, it's facts. Who cares? Like, we're losing touch of being able to see what banter is and what's not and what's offensive. I think that's a fine line that the AFL needs to sort of go, right. We want players to be able to be themselves, say what they want to say without being completely disrespectful to certain elements.
Yep.
So give them a bit more of free range.
Yep.
But-
Also, Meek getting off with the high hit on Lipinski, but so it looks like the game's coming back to be strong again. Like, so I think who got off last week? Was it the guy Pearson? Pierce. Pierce got off.
Alex Pearce.
Yeah, Alex Pearce got off last week. Meek got off this week. So yeah, we're looking like we're going to have a tough game again, hopefully.
But Minnie Gorn, aka Johnson from Melbourne, got 2 or 3 weeks. I read just before we jumped live.
Yep.
But that was actually fair. That was a good call, in my opinion.
All right, beautiful.
So,
But yeah,
all right,
that's the wrap.
it is. It is indeed. So we're about to let our special guest in. His name is Thabo, Thabo. And we wanted to get him on because he's part of a club near us. He actually is coached by Brozza at the same club. And he's got a really interesting journey and story that I want him to sort of explain to us, of where he's come from, what he's been through, where he is now, and where he potentially could get to.
Yep.
I went to the football with him and Brozza about a month ago, and he's such a good guy. So I'm going to bring him in, and we can ask him some questions.
Beautiful.
Now the screen's going to change. Oh, actually, I'm going to change it back to immersive, and he can sit where Todd normally does.
Yeah, beautiful.
Change immersive. Go here. All right. He's in. Thabo, are you there?
It's on mute at the moment.
Oh,
Here we go.
Hello.
Hello.
g'day, mate. How's it going?
I'm doing good. Is my camera working?
Yes,
It
yes,
is. It is.
All right. I can't see anything. I don't even know where you guys are right now.
Well, I'm
Must
at my
be
house.
Yeah.
Eggy's at his house, and we're just on Zoom, just in case you were lost.
All right. Perfect. How you boys doing?
Good, mate. Thanks for coming on, especially with a bit of short notice, but I just wanted to have a bit of a chat to you with Eggy and introduce you and get you to tell us a little bit about your journey from where you started to where you are now and potentially where you're going to get to.
Yeah. Well, honestly, it's been a hectic journey, hectic ride. Don't even know how it pretty much ended up here. So started all pretty much in COVID, where I had this weird kind of thing, just going down to the local park, playing basketball, getting ready, because during COVID, I didn't want to go back to the basketball season around then, since everyone didn't know what COVID was at the time, and we were all kind of like just worried about it. So I ended up staying back here, and I lived in a flat in Moorabbin. And then I did that for a bit, was practicing every morning, ended up walking past, I think it was the St. Kilda's facility.
Yep, RSCA Park.
Yeah. So I ended up seeing this one guy. He was trying to just looking at me real weird. And I was like, damn, have I done something wrong? What's going on here? And he kind of like chased me down. He was like, have you ever played footy or thought about it? And I was like, honestly, nah, never. And then I just went back to my thing, just shooting, practicing, getting ready for the upcoming season back in America for college basketball. And then he sees me again. He's like, hey, grab my email. Once you come back from America, get that all done. Let's see what happens. So went back to America, played my second and third season of JUCO basketball. That was real good. Got that, came back to New Zealand, trained there for a bit, and then decided just to message him, flick him an email. He was like, this is what I think. This is probably the best route you take for AFL. So got me in contact with a few emails, sent out my emails, got contacts from one particular club, Hawthorn, and I think it was Box Hill, the VFL team. And I had no idea how the VFL and like AFL worked. Still at this point, I have no idea what's going on. I get a call from one of the development coaches, Zach. So I'm talking to him on the phone, and he's kind of like giving me a very interesting proposal So that's been real good. Been talking to him, working with him for the last few months. And then they kind of decided to send me down the local footy route since I have never kicked a footy at all. Don't know what I'm doing.
Yep.
So I was just like, yeah, I'm all in, keen to try it out. Why not? And then honestly, at this point, it kind of got to the point where I was like, basketball or footy. And I think this year I'm just gonna give it my best and see what happens. So yeah, ended up playing at Hyatt, had my first game, ended up scoring, surprisingly, was stoked about it. Had a decent background in soccer. So I think kicking the ball, I'm struggling with kicking the footy, but I feel like I'm slowly and gradually getting better at that. But still got lots to learn. Still got lots to learn. And then the other day had my first senior footy game debut. That was unreal. And tough loss, very tough loss. Hated it, but yeah, off from that. So can't wait to just keep progressing and getting better, and hopefully just seeing where the end of year takes me.
So how did you go with the different levels, playing reserves, never playing footy before, jumping into a reserves local team with Brozza, as we know and our viewers know. And then what did you find the step up like compared to the weekend?
Oh, way more structured, way more intense, faster pace. I did not know the games were longer as well. That took me by surprise because I was like, surely the first quarter should have ended by now, but I had no idea. That caught me off guard. But honestly, more physical, more structured, everything like that. It's when watching it, it just looks more tactical, but the step up when you're actually on the field playing with those senior boys, it's definitely advanced, but been a lot. They've been prepping me. Everyone's been helping me. Great club. So it's been unreal at the moment. And yeah, I feel like I'm at the best place to learn and grow. And then hopefully my first year playing footy can somewhere come to a great end. So hopefully just trying to end the season right and end the right.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. And is your goal to play AFL now that you've had a taste of footy?
Honestly, yeah, I definitely want to dip my toes in it, see how far I can take it. Basketball's still on my mind, still have aspirations in that, but if I want to take one of the other to the next level, it's gonna definitely be hard to like juggle both. But I'm gonna see how far I can definitely go. And then luckily enough, I do have a potential end of year trial with Box Hill. So hopefully this season I can learn as much and just try and get ready for that as the main goal for this year.
Absolutely, mate. Do you have any questions, Egi?
Yeah, what position you been playing?
They've been putting me in the ruck and ruck forward every now and then.
Yep.
I've been playing up front, back, but I've enjoyed both positions really well. Like the ruck has been challenging at times, but I can see where I excel, and I've had a lot of ups and downs in that moment. And then forward line has been probably my funnest moments. So yeah, no, it's been unreal.
That's good. Well, also got a question from chat. Hugh Tanner's got, where were you playing ball in NZ?
Up in Auckland. So I'm an Auckland boy, North Shore. Played for a few rep teams, Harbour, and then played and went to Wesley Boys High School. And I started basketball roughly really late, funny enough, because soccer was my first love. Always played that, grew up doing that. And then I think I made the switch to basketball around my first year of high school, seriously. And then literally day in, day out, put in so much work. Luckily enough, made the national team for that, for age groups. Grew up playing basketball from high school onwards and just went on unreal trips. Basketball's taken me all over the world. So definitely grateful for it. And yeah.
That's fantastic. I mean, I've met you in person, but for those watching, how tall are you?
Centimeters, I think 2'1", so 6'7", 6'6", but my coach is always like, you're always wearing shoes, so you always go with that height. So yeah, 7 for sure.
Surprised they're not playing you as a small forward, mate. What's going on? No, that's unreal. That's unreal. Look, we appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. You mentioned before the show when I was messaging you that you're about to create a create a Instagram or something so people can follow you along your journey. So please make sure you send that through to us. We'd love to share it, post it so people can see where you end up, because I'm excited for you
I'm
to see
excited
what
to
happens.
see.
Yeah, appreciate that so much. Will do. So yeah, been planning on it. Had a chat with you at the footy. And yeah, I think I'm definitely going to try and document this journey. Everyone does say it's a very unique, interesting one. Really starting late into this. So yeah, I think there'll be lots of highs, lots of lows. And yeah, just hopefully be able to show the raw emotion and just see how it is.
Absolutely, mate. Hugh Tanner, Artie's got, you should have gone to St. Paul's Division 1, Hyatt Sark. It's a bit harsh, Artie. And then Hugh Tanner has Westlake, the Goats. Talking about
Yes,
New Zealand
sir.
team. Yeah.
Up the lake.
And Hugh Tanner said he'd be really keen to follow your journey as well. So
No, I
now,
appreciate that.
couple of things, or a couple of predictions that I'll let Egi run through you. We ask all our guests, so fire away, Egi.
Who you got as a premiership winner?
Oh, all right. My footy knowledge is dead terrible. I can tell you that. But my dad, I swear he's a bandwagon Collingwood supporter. As soon as he came to Australia, he's been on them. But I know they're really good. And I'm off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure they're sitting at the number 1 at the moment on the table.
Yeah,
That is
correct? All right. So at the moment, I'm definitely a huge Hawthorn supporter. I think they're like 6. But I think it's safe to say Collingwood will take it out this year.
Beautiful. So are you a Hawthorn supporter, are you?
Yeah, funny enough, like it just kind of happened. So I did play footy one time before, back in New Zealand, when they brought, like, I think you guys call it Oz Kicks. So they did something like that for intermediate kids. So I don't know if you guys have intermediate hits, since you guys do high school a little bit differently and everything.
Yeah.
But we have like a schooling education that you do 2 years after elementary or primary, as you would call it. So you're roughly like 11 and 12. So during that time period, they had included a brand new thing called footy, AFL. We had no idea what that was. So ended up doing that, played that zone day, literally a 1-day thing. So they gathered all the rugby boys, soccer boys, made a team, went down. It's just all the local schools just competed for this 1 day. No one's ever played AFL at this point. So I remember they had put me up front, since I played striker, since I used to love soccer, first love, everything like that. So all my mates play like league rugby and all that. Some of them play for the Blues. Some of them like mingled in like Junior Warriors and all that growing up. So we had a pretty decent team. We ended up making the finals for that. And sadly, we lost by, I think, 2 goals in the finals. And then as they were naming out like tournament team and like MVP and everything, I made the tournament team. And I think there was 10 players or 5 players they had given scarves to. And funny enough, I had ended up with a Hawthorn scarf back in 2000 and something. So like what, I was 12 years old and I ended up randomly getting a Hawthorn scarf. Never took it out. It's still in its plastic, brand new. So yeah, I think it was meant to be, maybe. So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, now that you've got Box Hill Hawks, possibly giving you an opportunity at the end of the year, things happen for a reason, mate.
Yeah, so just got to put my head down, keep working, enjoy the moment, and yeah, hopefully all the best. Everything leads to what it's meant to be.
Yep.
All right, we've got a couple more things.
Also, the wooden spoon, which is given away to the team that finishes on the bottom of the ladder.
Oh, who's the team in Perth?
West Coast.
Yeah, they have who was it? The number 1 pick,
Harley Reid. Yep.
Harley Reid. Yep. I think they're not doing well. I did hear some rumors that apparently he might be moving or something like that, or a trade might be there.
That is the rumor, mate. Yep, absolutely.
See, I tap in with footy sometimes. I'm doing my best.
Well, sorry, we'll forgive you if you don't know the next 2. Sorry, Egi, you go.
That's right. And the next one is a Coleman medal, which is the one that kicks the most goals for the season. One person.
Yeah, nah. That's a shocker. Yeah, I'm just gonna say, who's the tall guy that plays for Collingwood? Mason
Cox.
He's the only guy I know off the top of my head.
Love it. Fellow American.
Is it because he's felt doing the same sort of similar journey?
Honestly, yeah, I'm just gonna stick with him. He's my guy.
I like it.
And the last one is a Brownlow. It's like the MVP player of the year.
Oh. All right. I'm gonna have to say. All right. I know, who was it? Chol? Is it Chol? No, Hawthorne.
Chol?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with him.
All right. Beautiful, mate. You're probably not going to get your last two. However, the other ones are quite likely.
Yep, they are.
Quite likely. But look, mate, thank you so much. We've had a couple of people in chat saying good luck, and they really want to follow your journey. So make sure you do share the link with us when you create the page. I'll keep in touch with you anyway, and I do plan to get down to watch a game, and hopefully Egi can make it as well.
Yes, I'll be keen.
That'll be unreal to meet you in person, Egi. And that'll be great.
Amazing. All right, my friends, look after yourself.
And thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming
Always
on, bro.
welcome.
See ya.
See you, mate.
Beautiful.
Hello.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. We're in now. You just sort of froze for a second.
Yeah. I think you just turned off the computer, so yeah, it sort of froze for a second there.
All right,
yeah, that was an interesting interview. That was good.
Yeah, I thought it was great for him to come on, give us a bit of a story on his journey, because everyone's journey is different, and if he can make it onto the Box Hill Hawks list, he's got a great chance to make it on the Hawks list.
Yep, yeah, he does.
So it was fantastic. But a few people have said in chat, thanks guys for supporting. All right, we'll keep moving through.
All right, beautiful.
Woo girls, wowee.
All right, this is a little off topic, but wowee, did A-League miss the ball this week? No AFL or NRL in Melbourne for the weekend, except for Friday night where Hawthorn took on Collingwood. And they chose to have it at Amy Park for an all-Melbourne grand final, where we saw, was it Melbourne Heart to defeat Melbourne Victory by 1 point? And it was a sellout, but I reckon they could have had almost a sellout at Marvel Stadium, with Amy Park most attended sporting event of 29,902. I think they dropped the ball there and they should have had it at Marvel. What do you think, Taz? Did you see much of it?
I didn't see any of it. I heard my wife complaining because she was going in to watch a musical in the city, and it took her an hour from our place.
Well, yeah, they had like a big stampede of people and like almost riots on the way there with flares and that. Like,
yep,
yeah, it is sort of bad. Like, it is sort of bad, but I love the passion.
Yeah, I think we actually spoke about it a few weeks ago or a couple of months ago on the show about A-League and how they don't get a lot of crowd there, but they tend to cause more damage.
Yeah, like they get a bit rowdy, you know, like the football factory sort of stuff over in, like they always get in the brawl. Yeah.
Green Street hooligans, those sort of things.
Yep.
Yeah. But the passion, you're right, the passion's there for them, and they probably could have sold a lot more seats.
I reckon they should,
because it was two Melbourne sides.
It was two Melbourne sides. Like the Melbourne Heart, Melbourne Victory, the first time ever they've had in the A-League history for a grand final.
Yeah,
I think it could have been done better. Like, I didn't hear anything about it till Wednesday or Thursday last week, after State of Origin, when they were talking about it, like, coming up this weekend. I was like,
I'm sorry. I'm laughing at Artie because every time he brings up something, he's on. This is an AFL show, not A-League.
I'm just having a rant. All right.
You'll never walk alone, Artie. All right.
Yes.
All
Yes.
Right?
I thought it was the greatest game in the world or something, or the biggest game in the world.
Hugh Tanner's got here, Westlake are pretty much the best high school basketball program in New Zealand, which makes his journey even more impressive. So that's great. I like that wowee, Egi. Definitely not AFL related, but I'll allow it.
But next week we're halfway through the season, so we'll be going through our predictions and see if we want to See how we're tracking on our prediction, and maybe if we want to change a few.
I want to change all of mine. No, no. We'll see how we go. I look forward to that. All right. Do you want to move straight into tipping?
Yes, we do. We are moving straight into tipping. And that is not the screen that I wanted.
Well, we're at
There we go.
You did the same thing last week.
I know I did. Looking at
me.
But we jackpot again with a whopping $160 this week. Thanks to GC going down to Freo, and to the people that tipped Freo, they also tipped Hawks. So ha to that. So if you haven't yet joined tipping, check out the link below. First place gets $250, second place $100, and third $50 with a $20 jackpot each week. And we're up to $160 this week. So make sure you jump in there, because it's easy money with the buy rounds. I think there's only 8 games this week. But in saying that, it didn't go off. But
they also have to beat us with the margin,
yes,
don't they?
Also remember, on these buy rounds, if they don't beat us with the margins and the perfect round, it jackpots to the next week.
Kelso, holy shit, I can see my name.
Yes, Kelso's in there at 17th. I think Magpie's in front of him. I think that's one of the boys. Also, Blue Boy 29. I think that's. But Big Jam, our mate from the pool that won, and he's up there at second with Triple R Kumar still out on top. So they're sort of going neck to neck on Big Jam, but just 1 point ahead of him at the moment.
That's good. We've got a fair few in the league, which is great.
It is great. So yeah, make sure you're watching the show so you can claim your $160 this week. Get the perfect round.
Absolutely. All right. Viewer questions. It's back.
And it's
back. So, what's this? Sorry, George. Can't believe Carlton are favourites at the moment. I think that will change. Oh, you're talking about upcoming games, probably.
Oh, yep, maybe.
Yep. So we'll talk about that in a moment. But
no, we won't actually, because we're going to talk about it on Thursday.
That's what I was going to say.
My apologies. I jumped the gun.
Oh, that's funny. That is funny. All right, viewer questions. So Artie is up first. He has, was Friday night's game paid for by Collingwood?
I think most games are paid for by Collingwood because we get the most attendees. So.
Oh. As I said, I fell asleep. I do think that there were some iffy calls both ways, though. I don't think it was all one way.
I think Hawthorn are slightly off. I don't think it's because of Will Day, but I think it's sort of affecting them. I don't know. Sicily seems to be in a bit of a different headspace, whereas the kicking efficiency and his the way he's going about things, or like his how do I say it? His options, what he's trying to do is not quite working out. His decision making is not quite working out in this way.
They've also versed 2 of the best sides in the league the last 2 weeks in Brisbane and Collingwood. Yep. So I still don't think we can take anything away from Hawks. I think the bye round, and when it comes up for them, he's going to do them well, and they'll probably come out and start steamrolling again.
Yes.
All right, Hugh Tanner. After Friday's mopping, how much could dropping the next 2 games versus Dogs and Crows affect Hawthorn's season? So this is a kind of good transition for what we were just talking about.
Yes, it is.
If they do lose to those 2 teams, I still think they'll finish top 8.
Yes.
But I don't think they're going to be top 4 like we were first thinking.
Well, I think these 2 teams are almost top 4. The way Dogs have been playing, they've been dominating as well the last few games. And I think Adam Treloar's knocking on the door to get back in, so he might be back in this week as well. And the way that Crows put on the afterburners and put away Sydney also is could be tough for them. But hopefully after these 2 games, they might have a better run with a few better teams. Just not better teams, but a few easier teams.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely the toughest part of the draw for them, especially these 4 teams, one after another. That's huge. And you wouldn't have picked these 4 to be, I mean, Collingwood and Brisbane, yes, but you wouldn't pick Dogs and Crows to be 2 of the 4 hardest teams in the league right now.
No, well, I actually thought Dogs were going to drop out of the 8, and they've proven me wrong quite drastically.
But Hawks might also come out and surprise us. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think, Artie? Being a Hawks supporter, I know it might take you a little bit to type with those old fingers of yours, but how do you think the Hawks will go over the next few weeks, realistically? And while you're doing that, I'll catch up on chat before we go into the next
Yep.
question. Question. Um, George, no, Artie, number one sport and participated game, boys, girls, but only gets reported as proven 5 minutes ago. Whenever there's trouble, mainstream media is a joke, basically.
Yeah.
Hugh Tanner, absolutely. I sent all my money over, talking about the Pies and the Hawks umpiring,
Yep.
because he's Collingwood. George, every game has iffy calls, and then Hugh, it's a rough 4 game swing. Yeah, 100%. 100%. So, all right. Last but not least, from Brozza. I like this question, actually. It's a bit different. What local team or teams do you support?
Oh, I got quite a few on the list here. Well, first is the under 12 girls Pearsdale team, because that's my daughter's team, so I got to follow that one. But then doing that, it gives me interest into the under 19s, because my boss's son plays there and he's knocking on the door of making it his senior debut. So I like to follow them. Also, my sister-in-law, her boyfriend plays for Frankston Bombers, so I'll go watch a few of those games. Actually, one of the boys from work plays for Dalston, down at Dalston, so I'll watch that one. And we do have we follow Bentley netball and that, so I do look a lot of their stuff too that comes up.
Yep.
So yeah, there's a few of the teams that I like to watch.
I love it, mate. I've got a few as well, to be honest. I've got obviously Seymour, coming from Seymour originally. Yep. So I use the Play AFL app, whatever it's called,
AFL
so I can
Play,
keep track.
yep.
AFL Play, so I can keep track of all these teams as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Seymour Football Club, Avenel, because I played for them as well. So I played for Seymour and Avenel. Very, very short careers for the record. So that was good. I follow Ngambie because that's from up around that area, and they used to be a rival of Avenel. Who else do I follow? Murrumbina Football Club, Football Netball Club.
Well, actually, after I guess tonight, I'm starting to follow Hyatt now as well.
Yep, absolutely. Hyatt's on my list. I follow them, especially because Brozza in the twos coaches them. Yep. Bentley Football Club I follow as well. And I think that's probably about it off the top of my head that I look at the results for weekly at this stage.
Beautiful. Also, Calzo he's got Ingleburn Magpies and Eli's Auskick side. Hugh Tanner's got Warrigal Industrials. Not that anybody asked. Haha.
Yeah, Hugh, shut up. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. No, I love your input, mate. Love the input. So I really like that question.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, and I'll answer for Moisty, Seymour, and Avenel.
Yeah. I think
that's probably about it.
His brother played for Avenel, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, it still fills in occasionally too.
Beautiful.
Nelly gets best on every time he plays. It's unreal.
Wow.
In the reserves. Yep. So, mate, we have done so well for timing.
We did, but that's why we had the guest on, so I thought we'd cut out the review, and then I like how we're going to do like a quick little Thursday show.
Absolutely. So moving forward, guys, we're going to try and lock in 7:00 Thursday nights, same time as this.
Yep.
Just to go through our tips for the upcoming round. Well, it should only be a 10-15 minute show.
Yeah, so we might briefly touch on like some ins and outs that are in that surprised us, and also maybe some of the news during the week. Like last week, I wouldn't mind talking about Bailey Sniff's little comment there about about getting on the bags for the grand final, or talked about the mid-season draft as well, and I think there was the other one about Pierce getting off as well. So I'd like to hear your input about that. But yeah,
absolutely, so much happens.
It does, and Taz does put a lot of it on our story on Instagram. So make sure you're checking that out on a daily basis.
Please do. We love your support. Speaking of support, we if you haven't, and we mentioned it before, if you haven't liked this video or this live, please minimize chat, hit the like button, because the more people that like it, the more will pop up for others. Look, we feel like we've got a pretty good show. I'm not going to lie about the situation. But we've got a few goals of ours that we really want to achieve. And one of those is hitting 500 subscribers on YouTube. So the more that we can get out there by you guys liking and sharing would help us enormously. And we will be forever grateful.
We will be.
Anything else from you, Egster?
No, that's it. I'm tempted to talk about the next rounds, but then we're going to leave that till Thursday. So
we will.
We will.
Well, we can't really say. Let's hope it's an explosive round of footy because we're going to meet up again on Thursday.
So let's hope it's an explosive news coverage up until then.
Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Thank you all. See you all next time.